Alright, hi guys. What we're going to be going over today is we're going to be going over the Pythagorean theorem and its converses. So this is the first of chapter 8. So let's go ahead and get started. So first, what is the Pythagorean theorem? Well, the Pythagorean theorem is really a formula used to find the third side of a triangle, knowing that the other two. Pythagorean theorem goes as follows. It says that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What this means is first, let's explain the different parts of a triangle. Alright, so the different parts of a triangle. You have two legs in every triangle, so A and B are called the legs. Alright, these are the two shorter sides of the triangle. And then you have C, which is called the hypotenuse. So this is called the hypotenuse. This side is called a leg. And this side is also called a leg. So you have leg, leg, and the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always going to be your longest side of the triangle. You usually can tell because it will be the largest number. Now what the formula is saying that is if we take one of the legs squared plus another leg squared, we should end up getting the hypotenuse squared. So let's look at this real fast. What we're going to be doing with these examples is we're going to test to see if this formula works. Okay, so you have 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so we know the two shorter sides are my legs. So I'm going to label them as A and B. We know our longer side is the hypotenuse, which is C. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take A, alright, and we're using A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So we're going to take A, which is 3, we're going to square it. We're going to add B, which is 4, square it. We're going to set it equal to C, which is 5, and square it. Now this little 2 right here, what that means is it's an exponent. It tells you to take the number and multiply it against itself. So right here we take 3 and multiply it against itself. 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 4 times 4, which is 16, equals 5 times 5, which is 25. So if we add 9 and 16 together, we get 25. So yes, this is a right triangle. Why do we know this is a right triangle? Because the Pythagorean theorem works. Okay? So let's go on to the next one. Alright, let's look at this one. So once again, we're going to test to see if this is a right triangle. Alright, how we do that is if the Pythagorean theorem works. So this is A, B, because they're the two smaller sides, and the biggest side, which is 13, is C. So what we say, 5 squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. So 5 squared, meaning 5 times 5 is 25, plus 12 times 12, which is 144, equals 13 times 13, which is 169. So 25 plus 44 should give you 169. Equals 169. Alright, so we know this is a right triangle because both these sides equal each other. Now, I want you guys to flip to the next page. Sub in the room, can you please pause the video? And I want you guys to try this one on your own. So we're trying this one on our own. So pause the video. Alright, so let's go over this together. Alright, so two smaller sides are 33 and 56. So this is my A, my B, my longest side is 65. C. So what we're saying is we need to see if 33 squared plus 56 squared equals 65 squared. Well, let me get my calculator out because I don't know what 33 squared is. Come on. Okay, so 33 times 33 should give you 1089 plus 56 times 56 should give you 3,136, and then we got 65 times 65, which should give you 4,225. Well, if you put this in your calculator, you should get 4,225 equals 4,225. So yes, in fact, this is a right triangle. Now, sometimes you have missing pieces, and we had to solve for those missing pieces. At this point in time, we're not going to be able to tell what's the longest side by just looking at the numbers, so you're going to have to use your intuition. So it's pretty much whatever the diagonal side is the longest side. So in this case, the diagonal is going to be the longest side. Alright, so diagonal is the longest side, so we know the longest side is 185. So, now this is going to be our C. We know this is going to be, we'll call it our B, and our other leg, which we don't know, is going to be A. So because we don't know it, we're just going to label it as A squared. We know B, we know is plus 153 squared equals our C, which is 185 squared. Now, let's actually square the numbers we know. So if we take 153 and we multiply it by 153, we should get A squared plus 2,300, 409. Alright, we're going to set that equal to 185 times 185. So let's see what 185 times 185 is. It's 34,225. Alright, just like any variable problem, we're going to have to solve for the missing number. So first we're going to get rid of this 23,409. So we're going to subtract that from both sides. So we should get A squared equals equals 10,816. Well, our next step is to look. Okay, so we have A squared. A squared equals 10,816. Just like everything has an equal and opposite, just like adding has subtracting, multiplying has division, everything in math has a counterpart. In this case, squaring something has a counterpart. So to get rid of a square, we had to use what's known as a square root. On your calculator, you should be able to find a little object that looks like this. It should just look like almost like a division sign, except for you get the little thing in front. So it's a square root, kind of like a heartbeat looking thing. What you're going to do is you're going to put in this number, most likely, and then you're going to hit the square root sign. So we're going to figure out what the square root of 10,816 is. 816. We take the square root of that, you should get a equals 104. So we know our missing side is 104. Let's write that down for a second. Alright, so that's good. Alright, next is we have 265, 96, and this blank side over here. So remember, the diagonal is going to be our hypotenuse, meaning our C. Call this our A, we'll call this one our B. So we're missing our B. So we're going to do this again over here. So we're going to say A squared, which is 96 squared, plus B squared equals C squared, which is 265 squared. Okay? So, first things first, let's look at this. We have 96. We're going to square it. So that means you're going to take 96 and multiply it by 96. So you should get 9,216 plus B squared equals whatever 265 times 265 is. So let's take 265 times 265 and should get 70,225. Next, we're going to try to get this B squared by itself. Well, how do we do that? We have to subtract. So we're going to subtract 9,216 from both sides. So we take 70,225 and subtract 9,216, we should get B squared equals 61,009. So, our next step is to get rid of the squared sign. How do we do that? We gotta do its opposite, which is square root. So we're gonna take the square root of both sides. Take the square root of both sides, we should get 61. We should get B equals 247. So B equals 247. I'll let you copy that down for a sec. Okay. moving on. Alright, so last but not least, now we're missing the hypotenuse. This diagonal right here is no longer there. So we know our B, A, but we don't know our C. That's why we're going to go over here. We're going to label. So we got 69 squared plus 260 squared equals C squared. So we're going to first take 69 and square it. So we're going to take 69 times 69, and we get 4,761 plus 260 times 260. So 260 times 260, and we should get 67,600. Alright, we can set that equal to C squared. Okay. This time, because we don't have a number over here, we're not going to be subtracting anything from over here. We're just going to do what we've been doing. Kind of skip a step a little bit though. So we're going to take this, we're going to add it to this, because that's what it tells us to do. So we're going to add those two things together. And you should get 72,361 equals C squared. Now we've got to solve for C. So we've got to square root both sides. So 72,361, if we square root both sides, we should get 269 equals C. And that's our third side. Okay, so pause the video, and you guys try the 2 tries by yourself. Alright, first you try. So first you try, we have 9920. We're missing this third side over here. So remember, this is the hypotenuse since it's the diagonal. So this is our C. We'll call this our A. We'll call this one our B. Okay? That means that 20 squared plus 99 squared should give us C squared. So this should be 400 plus 9,801 equals C squared. Then what we're going to do is, because we're solving for C squared, we're just going to add these two together. So it's going to be 10,201 equals C squared. And then we're going to square root that. 10,201 square rooted is C equals 101. Now the next one. We have our third side, so this one's going to be the A, this one's going to be the B, and this is going to be our C. So that means that 13 squared plus B squared should give you 85 squared. We take 13, we multiply by itself, we should get 169 plus B squared equals 85 times 85, which is 7,225. We're trying to solve for B squared here, so we need to get rid of this 169 next to it. We subtract 169 from both sides. We should get B squared equals 7,056. Finally, we have to solve for b, so we square root both sides. B should give us 84. Give you a sec to write that down if you haven't already. Alright, next page. Now, along with the Pythagorean theorem, we have the Pythagorean theorem's converses. Alright, what these are ways to tell whether or not a triangle is an acute triangle or an obtuse triangle. Okay? So, we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared is a way to tell if something is a right triangle, meaning it has a 90-degree angle in it. Now, obtuse triangle means that we have an obtuse, or a angle that is greater than 90 degrees in the triangle. Okay? So the obtuse angle is always going to be across from the C side. If it's obtuse, it's going to be across from the C side. So C and C. And then, so pretty much that formula is saying that if you have a C squared, it's going to actually be greater than A squared plus B squared. Now, there's also an acute, or a angle that is smaller than 90 degrees. In this case, acute angles have all the sides, alright, all the sides are equal to each other. I mean, not equal, all the angles are acute angles. So all the angles are acute angles in an acute triangle. C is always still going to be your longer side, but if C squared is less than A squared plus B squared, then you know that the triangle is acute. So let's test this out. So we have 17, 12, and 9. So we know our C, it's that. The A and the B do not matter, considering it doesn't matter which way side we label it. So what we're going to say is that 9 squared plus 12 squared. I'm just going to leave this blank because we don't know if this is a greater than sign or less than sign or an equal sign. Alright? Because right now we're trying to figure out if it's right, obtuse, or acute. And we're going to set it equal to, 17 squared. Okay? So 9 times 9 is 81. Plus 12 times 12, which is 144. We don't know what this marking is, but we know 17 times 17 is 289. If we add these two things together, we should get 225 blank 289. Alright, well, the greater part here, the 289. Now, since we know that C squared is bigger than A squared plus B squared, we know that the triangle is obtuse. The triangle is obtuse. Let's try the next one. So our longest side is 20, so that's C. This is A, this is B. So once again, we're going to take 9.6 squared plus 18 squared, We're gonna set it equal, or not equal to, but we're gonna put that little line there again because we don't know what it is. 20.1 squared. So if we take 9.6 and multiply it by 9.6, you should get 92.16 plus 18 times 18 equals 324. Then 20.1 times 20.1, we should get 404.01. If you add these two together, you get 416.16, and then we don't know what this is yet, 404.61. Okay, so which side is bigger? Well, this side is bigger. So we know that our a squared plus our b squared is greater than our c squared. So what that tells us is that this is acute. This is an acute triangle. Just copy that down for a sec. Okay. Next one. Okay, so 37 is the largest of the three, so that's C, A, B. C, A, B. Okay, so A squared, 12 squared, plus 35 squared equals 37 squared. So 12 times 12 is 144 plus 35 times 35, 12,000 or 1225 equals 37 times 37, 1,369. Actually, this shouldn't be an equal sign. I keep forgetting that. I'm sorry. So there should be, we don't know what that is yet. So we're going to add these two together. This should give you 1,369. And this is 1,369. So know that since they're the same number, they are equal. And since they are equal, this is a right triangle. This is a right triangle. Gotta put that down real fast. Alright. Next one. I'm going to put it off to the side here. Alright, we know our C is 20. So we're going to have A, B. So we've got 12 squared plus 15 squared equal, or not equals. Don't know what it is yet, 20 squared. So 12 squared is 144 plus 15 squared, which is 225, 400. So this should be a 400 right here. Sorry, I can't make it bigger. add these two together, you get 369. This is 400. That means the greater than sign is going to go towards the 400. So we know since A plus B is less than C, we know this is obtuse. Give you a second to copy that down. All right. You're going to try these four by yourself. You can tell me, are they right, obtuse, or acute angles? I mean triangles. So, please can you pause the video and allow them to do it? Here a second. Alright, so let's do this. Longest side C, A, B. So we're going to say that 15 squared plus 8 squared. We don't know yet. 17 squared. So this right here is 225 plus 64, 289. 289 does 289. So since they're equal, this is a right triangle. Let's do the next one. Longest side is here, so this is C, A, B. So that's 24 squared plus 7 squared equals 25 squared. 24 times 24 equals 576 plus 49 equals 625. Keep forgetting. So then when you add these two together, you get 625. 625, they're equal, so this is also right. Let's do this one over here. Longest side C, A, B. So that means we have 7 squared plus 6 squared equals 8 squared. Or 49 plus 36 equals 64. Which means that if we add these two together, you should get 85. 64. This is acute because, oh, my bad. A, B, C, 49, 36, 64. Add these two together, you should get 85. And since it's bigger than the C squared, we know this is acute. Alright, there's going to be one little part after this, so please don't stop the video after I've done this. Alright, so we got C, A, B. We know that 10 squared plus 8 squared, 14 squared. So that means 100 plus 64, 196. So that's 164, 196. The C squared is bigger, so this is obtuse. Alright, on your guys' own, you're going to be given some problems. Now, when you're given these problems, sometimes you're not even given a triangle. You're just given three things, like, I don't know, 8, 5, and 16. See these three numbers? Based off of this, you should be able to find your A, B, and C. If I said that these three numbers right here, so tell me, are the sides of this triangle acute, obtuse, or right? Well, you know right here, 16, right? It's the longest side, so that's your C. And because A and B doesn't matter, you can just put A and B on the other two. Just like if I did, I don't know, 25, 64, and 37. Well, 64 is the biggest side, so that's your C, and A and B doesn't matter, so you can just label it like so. And then you would solve using the Pythagorean theorem or its converses to tell me, is it right, obtuse, acute? Alright. If you guys have any questions, I'm right next door. You can send one person over at a time, as a group, whatever it is. I just please be respectful of whatever class I'm teaching. So if I'm not able to answer your question right away, I apologize, but I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Hopefully Miss Nelson will be back. She might not be back till after break, but still. Thanks, guys.